At the 9th Asia-Pacific Conference on Sexual and Reproductive Health and Rights, recently held in Ha Long City, Quảng Ninh Province, Vietnam's success stories on implementing the Population Family Planning and Maternity Mortality Reduction Program have been contributed to the agenda. On the sidelines, delegates had a field trip to witness the population works implemented at local health centers. Vat Yên in Vân Đồn, Quảng Ninh Province is a small commune with most of fishermen households and part of the population are ethnic minorities. The work of mobilizing fishermen to participate in pregnancy checkups and healthcare, however, has been very actively implemented by health station staffs.
Dân tộc em thì sinh nở là ở nhà. Còn bây giờ ra ngoài này thì các cô các chú vận động ra ngoài trạm xá thì mình theo ở ngoài này mình đi thôi. Hàng tháng mình được gọi điện về tiêm, xong tư vấn đến lúc thai nhi như thế nào thì các cô các chú gọi mình về để tư vấn cho mình.
Although with modest equipment and human resources, the maternal and childbirth healthcare at the commune and district level in Vietnam has always been highly appreciated by international donor partners.
Như tình hình hiện tại đây thì cơ sở trang thiết bị thì chúng tôi là thấy cũng đáp ứng được so với lại một tuyến huyện. Nhưng nếu để mở rộng thêm hơn, ví dụ như một số những cái thêm về chẩn đoán trước sinh hoặc là các điều trị mà hỗ trợ sinh sản thì chúng tôi thấy là cũng thiếu rất nhiều. Chủ yếu là với tuyến huyện chúng tôi bây giờ đáp ứng được những cái cấp cứu ban đầu và những chăm sóc thai phụ trong một quá trình mà sinh đẻ thì chúng tôi đáp ứng được rất tốt. Có các lớp tập huấn về nghiệp vụ thì cũng đều bố trí cán bộ đi học. Và đặc biệt là 4 bác sĩ ở chúng tôi đây thì có một bác sĩ chuyên khoa cấp 1 chuyên ngành sản và 2 bác sĩ sơ bộ về sản cũng đào tạo 1 năm tại trường Đại học Y Hà Nội và một bác sĩ là bác sĩ đa khoa. Còn các điều dưỡng thì có 3 điều dưỡng nữ hộ sinh là cử nhân điều dưỡng đại học về nữ hộ sinh và còn 6 nữ hộ sinh thì là trình độ là trung học đang được đào tạo nên là cao đẳng.
Despite such advancements in sexual and reproductive health care and rights, the gaps between localities and population groups are the common challenges still opposing Vietnam and other countries in the region. Organizing the largest international scientific and advocacy conference on sexual and reproductive health gives Vietnam the opportunity to also learn from other countries for its national issues towards a comprehensive service quality in poorer, more vulnerable populations. Hello everyone, welcome to Sharing Vietnam on VTC10 NetViet. Recently, the 9th Asia-Pacific Conference on Sexual and Reproductive Health and Rights was held in Vietnam. What news to be discussed in this conference? That will be the main content of our talk today with the Regional Director from UNFPA, Mr. Bjorn Anderson. Thank you, Mr. Bjorn Anderson, so much for spending time with our program today. Asia-Pacific is in a special demographic dynamic period, and many countries will enter into the population bonus status in the next 5 to 10 years. The theme of the conference is Leave No One Behind, Justice to Sexual and Reproductive Health. Could you explain more about this topic and why does UNFPA support this topic?
It's really to invest in young people. If governments make sure that young people, that they can go to school, that a girl have access to good education, have access to health, including sexual and reproductive health, from adolescents to become a grown-up. And when they start working, you prepare them much better. You have also to invest in gender equality and women's empowerment. If governments manage to capture this properly, you can actually jumpstart economic growth. Today I was out in a commune here in Halong and saw for myself how important the work is at the community level to provide services to women who are pregnant. UNFPA and Vietnam are having a very frank and open discussions around how we can advance the International Conference on Population and Development and what was agreed and recommended in 1994 by all countries. How can that best happen in Vietnam? And moving forward together, it's exactly that policy dialogue that I think is important between UNFPA and the government of Vietnam, so that we can provide ideas and suggestions what works in other countries, but at the same time also take all the successful stories in Vietnam to other countries, so that we can genuinely facilitate a South-South dialogue on how to best promote ICPD and sexual and reproductive health.
From the experience that you have in Vietnam, what do you think about the advancement of Vietnam in this regard?
I think Vietnam is really leading in many ways in the area of sexual and reproductive health. And I hope that Vietnam can take these achievements to the global level, and that has been also in the past done in many different ways. So I would really encourage Vietnam to continue doing that and to continue to be a voice at the international level. Whether you're in Europe or in Asia or in Africa, the nature of the challenges, for example, for young people, are very much the same. You are thinking through you're thinking about your sexuality. When would I like to have my first child, and the spacing between children. And that's why it's so important for all countries to make sure that reproductive rights can be enjoyed by everybody.
In order to well perform the population and family planning work, in addition to policy development and investments in public health and raising people's awareness, the participation of civil society organizations are important catalysts in promoting comprehensive improvement in reproductive and sexual health and rights. Hence, in this 9th Asia-Pacific Conference, many discussions were revolved around how to empower and sustain these organizations.
From other countries, there were lots of NGOs that have really good results in sexual reproductive health, especially for women and young people. Because we know that the state can't do everything, especially in giving people information, making them aware of the services they need. Small organizations locally that can mediate between the population and the state can be really, really helpful in getting our results.
It would be good if states also support civil society organizations for example, for sexual reproductive health and rights, for civil society capacity. Also, it is very good if there is a financing for implementation of Agenda 2030. And the expertise which is inside civil society is very big, and I saw Vietnamese colleagues who are doing fantastic work.
For example, the Center for Creative Initiatives in Health and Population, CCIP, is a youth-centered organization founded in 2015. The activities of CCIP involve all youth, including those with disabilities, LGBT, ethnic minorities, to share and enhance knowledge on reproductive health, gender equality, legal background, policy advocacy, and development processes. Since then, CCIP has coordinated with the Ministry of Home Affairs to organize youth networking activities with policymakers, creating space for young people to demonstrate leadership and contribute their voice in policy decision-making.
Cái khó khăn lớn nhất của những tổ chức thanh niên này là các bạn ý gần như là làm 100% với tinh thần tình nguyện. các bạn ấy rất ít có được những cái hỗ trợ về cả tinh thần, về cả những cái liên quan tới tài chính để mà mình có thể làm được. Khi mà các bạn ấy tìm được những cái cơ hội tài chính, có thể là từ những cái tổ chức như là Liên Hợp Quốc hay là từ các tổ chức phi chính phủ khác, các bạn ấy lại bị thiếu những cái năng lực về quản lý tổ chức, hay là thiếu những cái năng lực về quản lý những cái dự án như thế nào để có thể thực hiện đạt được cái hiệu quả tốt nhất.
According to Lê Hoàng Minh Sơn, a formal document or mechanism for the legal recognition of the contributions of civil society organizations in general and voluntary youth organizations in particular is essential for their sustainability and continued involvement to better link the resources from the government and international organizations with the needs of communities. In the conference, we found that the civil society organizations play a big role in supporting the government to deal with this matter. However, their activities is in small scales. What are your recommendations in order to replicate these activities and to empower the civil society organizations?
We have also to remember that we have different roles as a civil society organization or as a government agency. But the important part is that they can meet, that there is a forum where they can exchange ideas. Because, you know, it is important to listen to civil society because they're living the reality in many, many different ways. And they can highlight what people need and how things could be improved at the community level or at the national level or the global level for that matter. You know, strong civil society organization working internationally help us to improve the discussions we have. Or I've also seen myself in many, many instances how civil society organizations can provide services at the community level. It's not that they should replace the work of governments, but you know, they can complement each other. It is important that government themselves invest and allocate enough domestic resources so that, you know, countries themselves can really make sure that they can provide high quality services to women.
Culture and traditional values in Asia-Pacific region may have strong influence on sexual and reproductive health services, provision and utilization among young people. Do you have any suggestions for government to cope with this situation?
You know, whenever I ask this question about culture, traditions and how it relates to sexual and reproductive health and reproductive rights, you know, it's the same all over the world. Culture and traditions, that could be a force for good, force for change, whether it's in Vietnam or in any European country or in any African country. But what we have to be very careful about is those traditions which are harmful for men and women, and in particular women and young women, which are undermining their possibilities to decide, for example, on their own bodies, decide for themselves what they want to do, you know, what kind of career would I like to have. Those are the traditions and practices we have to be, you know, look at very carefully. And also here, governments play a very important role to make sure that laws and policies are in line with, you know, international agreements such as the ICPD Program of Action, for example. So that is why UNFPA has established or identified another transformative results, which is zero tolerance for harmful practices, such as child marriage, for example. We cannot accept those kinds of traditions and practices in any society.
Once again, thank you so much for your sharing today. So that's the end of our program today. Thank you so much for watching us. For any questions and feedback, please email to sharingvietnam@netvietv.net. Thank you and see you again.